This is a seed PIR, also known as a passive infrared motion detector, and it's attached to a light blue bean plus from Punch to Design. I've just started the bean plus with some code on it to let the PIR warm up its detector. The PIR does some unpredictable warm-up triggers on startup, so a delay is helpful. The code I have set up has the PIR waiting for 60 seconds before going into the main detection loop. Along the bottom here in the breadboard are LEDs, and these LEDs are being used to visualize a detection counter variable. So right now the count is 5. So when the bean turned on, went through its warm-up cycle, the PIR finally triggered once it got to the main loop and said, hey, there are 5. The way the code works is the PIR detects something, the beam plus turns its onboard LED to red and increments the counter, and then it will wait. The wait I have is about 1.5 seconds after detection, and then the LEDs on the breadboard will then visualize the counter in binary. The reason for the wait time after detection is that the PIR is still triggering multiple times as a hand or a person passes in front of it. So watch this. It did a couple right there. Without that wait, it would have been a lot more in the counter. And so the wait right now helps reduce the detection count. Ideally, you'd have some code in there to detect that something once and then take action, and then all the remaining detections in some sort of defined period are ignored. So we'll trigger so now let's trigger the PIR again, and there it went, and then the onboard went red, and the LED's counter went up a little bit more. Keep in mind that the PIR has a detection range of 120. Whoops, let me get a light. 120 degrees around the lens here. So this lens is on top of a sensor. And 120 degrees is pretty wide because I can come in on the side and trigger it. And so for some things you may want to just narrow down your detection, like when you're looking down a hallway or a specific area around a door. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a toilet paper tube. We'll put that right there. And it's now waiting, and so I could hover my hand along the side and it's not going to do anything, but if I move that up and trigger, it sees my hand at the end of the tube and increments the counter. And I could do it again, and increments the counter, and it's waiting, and then moves again. So this ideally could be used to detect something and then trigger some other device to take action. So again, this is the demonstration of the seed PIR, or passive infrared, attached to a light blue bean plus from Punch to Design using the Grove connectors.